So, Fossana, what game is this? You said in your email and I wasn't reading it. $11 9-man turbo. Perfect, love it. Alright. No! Call 60, try and flop a set. So the rule for set value is you need between 15 to 20 times the amount of the raise in both of your stacks to flop a set, including implied odds to make it profitable. So you flop a set 1 out of 9, and you're risking 60 chips, but both of you have a lot of chips. So if you do hit the set, you're expecting to get really good value, which means that flopping that set 1 out of 9 is going to happen often enough to risk 60 chips here. So the rule, again, 15 to 20 times the amount of the raise. So 60 times 20 is 1200. Both of you have 1400. You have way more than the required chip stack to call just to try and flop a 4. So that's your plan here for Sana. It's 1 out of 9 to flop a set. I'd also play this because suited ace multi-way is a nice hand, so I would limp behind and just try and see a multi-way pot with a suited ace, because any flop with 2 clubs and you're in really good shape against a decent amount of opponents. I just really like playing with good solid hands against weak players. You don't have to isolate that, you can just limp. Just stop the review now. Hey, if all the hands are perfectly played, this would be very boring, wouldn't it? So ace 10, really good fold under the gun. Offsuit, not a lot of value. 3-bet, good sizing, I like it. Just shovel in, the pot's enormous. Nice. Look at that value. Although you're in pretty... I mean, it's actually not too bad because they block each other's flush draws, so there's much less diamonds out there. Do you guys better to fold 4s like in small blind in that situation, or if you get the odds, do you feel like it's okay to set those small pairs in any spot? It's still good out of position, Ghost of M, but the issue with calling it out of position is it's much harder to realize your value when you hit, because you have to check and then hope that your opponent bets and like check raise and take the betting lead, and it's harder to get full value. But when you're in position, you can just call down and hope the guy bluffs, or you can call and like make it look like a bluff yourself and bet the turn when he checks you. So if you're in the small blind, you should be just a little bit tighter with your rule. So maybe if you have 14 times effective the raise, you can justify calling in position. But if you're in a small blind and you have 14 big blinds effective, you can probably justify folding because it's going to be harder for you to generate maximum value. But still, like, you're going to flop a set just pot odds wise often enough, even out of position, to make the call good if it's a small raise. That deep, hard to find a reason to fold there. Hand easy to play post-flop early MTT. Which hand are we talking about? Are we talking about the 4s still? Good ISO. This is a 9-man sit and go, by the way. This isn't an MTT. You're welcome, Ghost Event. So just checking with the weak ace. I would definitely lead this because we want value from Queen X, worse aces, and flush draws and straight draws. And if you check, a guy that's limping is probably just going to check back because he's a passive player, and you lose value basically. So I like leading this when you have a top pair weak kicker. If he raises, you just fold because it's a limped pot. Don't go broke in a limped pot with one pair. and the kicker's not even that good. So if he does raise, just go, alright buddy, I guess you got pocket fours or a trapped ace queen or something strange like ace 4, and just fold. But by betting, you can really get a lot of value out of draws and worse hands. So definitely bet the turn. Like, so much value here for Fossana. Like, he's gonna call you down with any heart, any queen, any ace, any 4, any 6. There's so many hands you need to get value from. Playing this too weak. Now what do you do? You check called. Look at that river card. You got lucky that this guy is, you know, not the best player as well, but you should have just bet flop, bet turn, and gone for the more value line. By check calling, you just kind of, you're losing value, losing a ton of value. What do you think about set mining in multi-way pots? Implied odds are higher multi-way. Yes, but the issue with set mining in multi-way pots is that you have to be the one closing the action pre-flop. Because let's say that there's a raiser and a caller and you're in the cutoff and you want to set mine. If you call, like, the people behind you are getting a really big incentive to just squeeze. So it's difficult. Of course you want to do it more in multi-way pots because there's much better implied odds, but you need to kind of you know, pick the right spots. Like, I don't mind set mining with a 10x strategy, like 10 times the raise, which is very aggressive. You're only going to flop a set 1 out of 9, and you're calling 10% of your chips, so you have to really be confident in doubling up when you're calling that much of your stack just to try and flop a set. I don't mind doing it if I'm really sure that I'm going to see a flop, and the guy's terrible, and it's maybe going 3 or 4 ways to the flop. But it's very rare to get that kind of situation. Usually, I just end up folding because, like, the big blind might be an aggressive player who's just going to squeeze, or there's ICM considerations where calling 10% of my chips is just not worth it. So, yeah. I moved up and started playing terribly. Move back down, Fossana! Move back down! Yeah. Yeah, you've made a few mistakes, dude, but that's alright. We're all learning. Still learning. Ace-Jack, like, 3-betting against an early position raiser, it's like, is he really going to get it in here with Ace-10? I really doubt it. So I'd just call the 150, see a flop in position. If you miss, you just give up. If you hit, you're committed. But I don't think 3-betting is that great, because unless the guy is crazy loose, but people aren't usually loose enough to 3-bet Ace-Jack, and like, they're not going to rejam here with Ace-10. Usually people are tight against 3-bets. Except for that jab. I'm sorry, Ghost of M. It was a low blow. Like, you're committed, but I really doubt he has a worse hand than you. You kind of got lucky that you're just flipping. Just fold. Against a small 3-bet. A woman with a red dress and a dagger tattoo on her inner thigh. What a firecracker. A dagger on her inner thigh. I was gonna say something really inappropriate. My wife would kill me, so I can't tell you guys. But I'm sure you can guess if your Twitch chat's pretty good at guessing this kind of shit. So I'd probably raise this Ace-9 suited, because you're one of the chip leaders and I like playing these hands, but you don't have to. Just fold. ISO. So King Queen is good enough to ISO against a limper, so just make it 350, 400. See, I told you, Twitch chat. You guys are too smart. 2 days? Congratulations, Rounder for Life. For me, 3 years. That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations. Are you on your honeymoon right now? Already on Twitch chat. Welcome to married life. Just Twitch chat now. This is a perfect example of like set mining. So it costs 150. We're getting correct odds against under the gun to call just to hit a 4. Even though we're out of position, like you flop a 4 1 out of 9 and you have 20 times the raise. So if you can get half of his stack when you flop a 4, you'll be making a break-even chip EV play. So I think that, you know, he's raising under the gun, so he probably has a pretty strong range. It's worth it to call the 150 here just to try and flop a 4. And I don't think the big blind's going to squeeze too much because he's playing against 2 big chip stacks. So he's just going to call. And then when you go 3-way, there's even better implied odds when you do flop a set. So it makes it just better to call. So I definitely call there, try and flop a set, Fossana. Remember that rule. 1 out of 20... 20 times the size of the raise. And you can call. The size of the call, sorry, not the raise. So you have to call 150 because you're in the small blind. 150 times 20 is 3,000. So you're getting the correct set mining odds. At least consistent, yeah. At least consistent. I'd be tempted to raise this. People really don't defend wide enough. But there's no antis in this game, which throws me off a little bit. With no antis, you can probably just fold. I'm used to antis now. There never used to be antis on stars until late stage, but they changed that like recently. Flush draw, just bet. Okay, I gotta call this. He's like, he could have an ace, but he could also just have king high and be messing around. Good call. I like it. Bad luck. Yeah, he was trapping you. Think about how fucked he would have been if the river was a spade, though. Yeah, no antis. I like being a bit tighter. All in. Good. Gotta fold that. This is on your downswing. Sometimes you do end up playing a bit worse when you're on a downswing. I feel like against most players, you can just shovel in here, Fossana, because they're going to be too tight. Even with no antis, at low stakes, you just don't get called enough. But if you have a read that this guy's a bit loose and he's, you know, a bit crazy, then you can fold it. But, you know, he needs to be calling something like 40% for this to be bad. Yeah. Oh, the missus is home, guys. So this will be the last game. Finish this one off. I'm sorry to all you guys that sent in hand histories that I didn't get to. I tried to do them as in-depth as I could. It's interesting that you shoved the Jack 6, because this is a worse shove than the last one that you folded. I'll do more reviews later, guys, on another day. I'll post on my Twitter. I'll probably raise this King 10 because you're the chip leader. Yeah, I mean, I push that as well, because now you have a lot of chips, you can push wider into short stacks. It's antis now. Almost done. Fold that. All in. Good. All in. Good. Nothing too crazy. Yep, on the bubble. Nice. In the money now. I mean, I'm shoving this because I think we have fold equity when the guy min raises. Yeah, I'm definitely shoving because if he pushed all in, you would have called because you have 5 big blinds. So I think we have fold equity. This guy, I've seen people raise fold in this spot before, so I just shove pre-flop. And easy all in with the 4s. Alright guys, that's it for today. I'm sorry for not getting to everyone, but keep an eye out for more review streams. They'll pop up